Hey, welcome everyone to the Evie show by Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Wednesday, the 8th of May, 2024. Nice of you to join us this evening. Lots of people joining us on the live chat, which is so good to see. 77 viewers already, and we're only a minute and a half in, so fantastic. Thank you so much for all your support. Let's welcome our co-host as always. Hello, Riz from Carloop. Hello, Riz. How are you?
Hey Tom, going well. Good to be on. There's so much for us to talk about today, and it appears that, you know, Tom, you've been driving in basically luxury from our good friends at Toyota, and love to hear what your thoughts are later in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Thanks to Toyota Australia for loaning me their BZ4X. Those of you who are members on the channel might have seen my video already. Seen a few nice comments already. So that's going to be dropping tomorrow night for everyone else at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you subscribe and get notifications for that video. So I'll give you my thoughts on that. Maybe in that video, perhaps a bit of a sneak peek as well later on in the show. Riz, how you been this week? How's it looking in Melbourne at the moment?
Yeah, it's been cold. Finally I had to sort out the Bonza stuff last week up there in Queensland, and now that that's out of the way, landed back in reality and a bit chilly, but I did actually see at one of the local dealerships, Volvo dealerships here, the EX30
Ah,
out at the front. So it appears, I think, and there's been enough conversation on social media about it, that there's a couple that are around. So if you're checking one out, check out some of the cool colors. I think the one I saw was sort of bright yellow,
hmm.
and it's been a while since I've seen cars in that color. So yeah, they're getting around. And Tom, you've been seeing some pretty exclusive vehicles, particularly those that haven't been officially delivered yet from Tesla at their showroom.
Yes, that's right. So we did have a look at the Cybertruck last week, and also the Model 3 Performance was in Sydney as well, and I think around other showrooms in Australia too. So got videos on both, check those out. For those in Sydney, the Tesla Cybertruck has crossed the Sydney Harbour Bridge again and is now in Chatswood. So we'll talk about that as well later on too. So if you're in the North Shore area in Sydney, it's in Chatswood, just near the Bunnings there. Check that out this week. Well, let's quickly say thank you and hello to our sponsors as always. Carloop, thank you, Riz, and I can see Richard on the show as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for your support. And also thank you to KOBA Car Insurance. They've got their EV product live. We've been working very hard, everyone in the Ludicrous Feed community, to get this EV product up and working hard to get the prices down as well. So we've got a review of that coming up very shortly later this week as well. Otherwise, check them out. There's a link in the video description as always. All right, Rich, let's say hello to some of our members who are on this evening. So, hello, Terry. We've got some pictures from your charging session in Dubbo with your seal later on. So, thank you for your support. Thank you, Wayne from Toowoomba. Thank you, Mark from Melbourne. Thank you, Tassie EV. Thank you, H2 Rider. Thank you, Richard, as we said earlier. Hello, Tassie EV as well. Hello, Oz Screamer. Hello, SWS. Hello, Lewis. Hello, Paul from Central Coast. Hello, Steve. Hello, Dieter. Lots of members. Hello, Paul. Hello, Jez. I've seen you in a while. Nice to see you there. Hello, Grandpa BBQ Game Cat. And hello, Stephen. And yes, hello to everyone else watching as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tassie Thalasan. I can see you there as well. Hello, Kenny Timms. Hello, Scott Hutchings. I can recognize a lot of these regular members joining us and also tagging Riz and myself on social media as well. Great to have all your support. Without you guys, there is no show, by the way. You tag us on socials, we post your articles up. That's how it works. It's a great cycle. This is the People's Channel. Hello, Kangaroo Island TV. Nice to see you there. Yes, so Kangaroo Stan says, I picked up a BZ in Adelaide on Friday. I'm not going to watch Tom's video until after that. I'd go the Moss Yellow EX30 for sure. There you go, Riz. That's what Stan is saying.
Okay,
I kind of get that. I kind of get where you're coming from, Stan, because I'm kind of the same with my content. Like, it sounds odd, but I also don't want to watch too much stuff before I review. Otherwise, I get clouded with judgment from other people. So I kind of want to have a pure look up a couple of things with the specs, but then I just want to like sit in the car for myself and experience it for the first time, if that makes sense. Look at this. Riz Paul's been a member for 29 months. What a legend.
uh,
Amazing support. His question, has Australia Supercharger rollout really stopped? We'll get to that very shortly, Paul. So good question. That's a lot to talk about on that topic. Oh, Anthony, nice to see you there. Hi, Tom. Finally got a chance to watch while marking assignments. So Anthony is a good friend of mine. In fact, this is the gentleman that loaned me the Mustang Mark E last week. So what a legend. Say hello to Anthony on the show. Hello, Hal. Nice to see you. Yes, let me drive the Cybertruck. Tesla AU if you're watching. Thank you, Hal. Good call. Hello, Charles Gregory. Nice to see you as well. Yes, this is a good point. Riz, I think I tagged you on LinkedIn or messaged you on LinkedIn this week too. So Charles is saying plenty of Australian members of Tesla's charging team have confirmed they've been let go and haven't seen anyone who is still about. So that's quite unfortunate at the moment. This is no secret. On LinkedIn, a lot of Tesla Australia's former charging team has been let go. They've confirmed that. They've said that in writing this week. So on to bigger and better things, hopefully, for you guys and girls out there. Cool. All right. Well, let's get on with some stories tonight, Riz. So this is your article on The Driven. As always, start of each month, we need to talk about the car sales, well, the sales data for Australia for the previous month, which was April 2024. It looks like the BYD seal is increasing in numbers.
Yeah, it's getting there in terms of, I mean, for a sedan, it's pretty impressive. It's getting close to the Model 3, which has obviously had a refresh late last year. So, yeah, the overall market was a little bit down. That's just generally the way car markets are. Some months they're good. March was really good, as we saw. April was slightly down. But overall, Model Y sort of topped the charts. But in total, I think they sold about over 6,000 vehicles. And yeah, the top sales, both Teslas, and then, it's not the BYD Atto, but it's the Seal that's number 3, and then MG4, and then BYD Atto 3, which this appears to be one of its sort of slowest months so far for the Atto 3, with just 400 odd sales, averaging about 700 to 800 sales every month. So new specials on that car as well, which I think we touched on last week. So, that was a little bit late in the month. So maybe the results of the new offers will come in May.
Yeah, thanks, Riz, for this data. It's fantastic to see you publish this each month for us. Yeah, so it's good to see the Seal catching up to the Model 3. It's still a very popular car. Atto 3 is interesting, isn't it? I mean, people who watch the show know that the 2024 Atto 3 is coming. So it could be just the price thing where I think BYD might need to keep dropping their price for the 2023 car to get rid of the stock. And as we'll talk about very shortly, now we've made it quite clear on the show that the BYD Seals pre-March 2024 and all the Atto 3s in Australia can't charge a V3, V4 Tesla Superchargers. So instantly, that's going to drop value for these cars, mine included, because they can't charge the Tesla Supercharger. Not often using these chargers is not the point. It's still an issue where it's going to affect resale value, Riz. So I think hopefully BYD will get on top of it.
Yeah, well, obviously with the new cars, that's true. And those that have been around, I mean, just from a scale point of view, we're talking hundreds of reliable fast chargers. Not the sites, but the number of stalls that are there. And that's what it excludes them. I know we're probably going to touch on the Tesla Supercharger situation separately, but even then, there's still, I think 80 or 90 Tesla Supercharger sites now, with about 40 of them open to non-Teslas. So I was lucky enough last week to charge my Polestar 2, where we discussed supercharging pricing for non-Teslas is not as expensive as at certain sites. But yeah, I mean, having the reliable charging infrastructure definitely helps.
Now, I want to touch on this particular car here, is the BZ4X. Curiously, 74 sales. I mean, are they genuine sales or are they just going to dealers? Interesting, isn't it?
Could be genuine sales. I mean, look, there's a lot of, council fleet managers and others that buy a lot of Toyotas. So this could be sort of, if you think about it, there's a couple of hundred councils and other industries that do prefer Toyota as a brand because they've got long-term fleet relationship with them. Generally speaking, and I'm not sure if it's the case with this car, but fleets pay anywhere between 10 to 20% below what everyday punters like us pay, especially for products like Toyota. So yeah, I mean, could be the case that they have sold that many, but it's not the original 200 that I think we saw in March.
I mean, you're right, Riz. If the BZ4X was 20% cheaper, as I said in my review, like that would be very compelling all of a sudden. Like price is so sensitive in this bracket, right, and this segment of the market. Now, the other car that I can't see in this list, of course, is the Peugeot E 2008. Now, I've not seen this car in your charts in the last few months, which is very interesting because those of you who follow us on X and whatnot, you will know that the E2008 has actually had a price reduction. Like this is huge. It's
Yeah.
now 25,000 Australian dollars cheaper than when I did my review. So in my review, those who've seen it, it was pretty positive overall. I thought it's quite a nice car. Like if you look at it, the interior is well finished. It doesn't drive too bad either, but not for the price that they advertised initially. But now it's $39,000 before on roads, I think. So Riz is pretty compelling now, right?
It's quite good. I mean, I haven't driven the 2008, but I've driven the e-partner, which has the similar sort of I think they call it iCockpit or something like that, little steering wheel. They are unique cars. They're quite cool in what they put out there. So yeah, I mean, respectable range, not range leading, but for over 300 kilometers for around about 40 grand for a mini or smaller SUV, I think it's quite compelling. Yeah, you get a lot of kit in that car.
Oh, especially for 39,000. Oh, look, it's drive away. Drive away in Australia. I mean, I almost feel sorry for the people who paid, I think it was like 59
Yeah, plus on
prior to the,
road. Yeah,
yeah, before on roads, but prior to the price drop. So, suddenly this is very much in contention with cars like MG4, GWM Aura, BYD Dolphin. Like this is now in the mix. So I think if you're looking for an EV in this price bracket, definitely check this one out. Like this is not an ad. I just think it's a reasonable car to check out. So there you go, $25,000 price reductions. It's ridiculous. But as Hal is saying, we have to remember 2023 run out period. So I would say, Riz, they're probably going to bring the current 2008, which we're seeing in Europe at the moment, very shortly. Cool. All right, well, let's move on. Now, Riz, we know you like the Cybertruck. Now, you'll love this picture. Have a look at this. You ready for this? Now, we know you need to have big kahunas to drive the Cybertruck. That's no doubt, right? We've seen the celebrities do it. You post this every week with us. But now, we've got the accessory to have
it's
dangling of the back of the truck.
the number one. If you wanted to ever see something from the future in the rear, that's what it is. It's an accessory that every Cybertruck owner should have.
You can keep your tent. You can keep your ATV. This is the Cybertruck. Polygonal balls.
This
in the back
is
there.
the fluffy dice of
That's right.
Cybertrucks. And
That's right.
This is what this is. Just not fluffy. It's very triangular.
Yeah, that's right. First prize to anyone who dangles that on the back of the one in Chatswood at the moment. And then take a photo and tag me and Riz. Yep. So there you go. Speaking of Chatswood, so there it is. There's the Tesla Cybertruck at the moment in Chatswood. So go check that out for yourselves. Interesting, Riz. We talked about this last week. How is it charging? There it is. There's I assume an NACS mobile charger plugged into the back of the Cybertruck. And I sort of made the mistake of asking, well, is there an adapter at the wall? But I forgot. There's modular tails with the Tesla UMC. So that's thank you everyone for helping me out with that. So yeah, they probably just took out the US one, put the Aussie one in straight into the wall. So there's no excuse now, Tesla. You can actually road trip this vehicle around Australia, knowing that we've got this proper charger.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't hold out on us. Sorry, Lewis. Sorry over the mispronunciation. It's cojones, Tom. Yeah, thank you very much. What did I say? Cojones. I apologize for my Spanish pronunciation. We love you guys tagging us when you spot stuff. So this was spotted in Rouse Hill in Sydney. Thank you, Terry. I think you're watching tonight. Moonlighting for some extra cash. No, that's not me, but this looks quite good. A white BYD Seal Tesla, taxi at the moment, running around northern Sydney.
Good to see more of them. Maybe that's, hey, it's priced right. Like the base model variant is what, under 50,000 plus on roads. So it's not far from a sort of top of the range sort of Camry hybrid these days, which is late 40s. So yeah, much better car, the Seal is.
Yeah. Now, I actually got back in my seal for like ages because I've had all these press cars over the last few weeks, and I forgot what a nice driver was. I call it my Chinese Mercedes for a reason. The interior is lovely. And Riz, you said that at the very beginning when you were at that live
Look,
stream with Luke Todd and company, right? I agree with you.
well, that's exactly right. I mean, I got paychecks from BYD and Mercedes on that night, so it's it's no, it genuinely is a pretty, pretty luxurious car.
Yeah.
And I think that, as this is sort of the benchmark in terms of what you can offer for around 50 odd $1,000 in an electric car.
Mm.
And since the updates that you've had and you've done videos on, Tom, as well, it's the ADAS has improved, things are getting better with time. So yeah, I think it's still a pretty good buy at that price point, nearly over 6 months now since they launched it.
Hmm. Yep. Since December, I think it was delivered. October when they launched it, so pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, Scott's saying number of seals in Northwest Sydney is increasing noticeably. That's true. Seeing them around, different colors too. And yeah, Richard's saying Cyber Scrote. That's that accessory that we saw. Not a bad one. Yeah, Richard's asking for a Cybertruck road trip across the Simpson Desert. That'd be good. Thank you, Matt. Yes, seals built before March cannot charge at V3, V4. Now, will not ever is a strong phrase. We'll get to that very shortly. I think that was written in an article recently by NRMA, so I will just touch on that very shortly. So hang on to that thought just for 1 second. And Billy Litt agrees with you. Paycheck from Mercedes. We're still mentioning Mercedes, even with the seal. Can't help it.
That's it.
Thank you for tagging us again, SK. Came across this at the local charger today. This is a Beetle, electrified Beetle, I assume.
Good conversions.
Yeah, it's great to see putting old life or new life into old cars like this. Very nice. Awesome. And Riz, now this to get you guys excited. Everyone on the stream, ready? Here we go. So Jay Leno has purchased a Rolls-Royce Spectre EV for about $500,000 US. Jay Leno has said this is probably the quietest automobile any company has ever produced. Spectre uses up to 500 pounds or 227 kilograms of sound insulation and gets 266 miles of EPA. EPA is pretty accurate, so 266 is probably about 400 Ks.
Yeah.
I wonder how much Jay got for this little promo, Riz.
Look, Jay,
Not as much as you, right? Surely.
No, definitely
No.
not. I mean, look, for those that don't know, Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW, and BMW rarely puts out money. That's why if you endorse Mercedes anyway, they'll pay up. Having said that, Jay is generally pretty honest with cars, and he's got a huge collection. He's always been a big sort of Tesla and electric vehicle sort of enthusiast in general, and yeah, this could be just adding to his collection.
That's right. He's got a big garage. Lewis is asking secondhand from Riz. Yeah, how much did you flog it for, Riz?
Look, they're undisclosed figures that we can't always discuss, but let's just say it was a portion of what I needed to rescue Bonza.
You're a good man, Riz. At least it's not a rapper this time. Yeah, that's very true. Now, speaking of the Rolls-Royce, actually, everyone, I've got a bit of news. You all know that I am due for a review of the Rolls-Royce Spectre later this month. So unfortunately, Rolls-Royce reached out to me this week, and they're going to push it back to June. So hold on to your seats. It's not coming this month, but hopefully next month. Clearly, my ultra high net worth is not as good as someone else's ultra high net worth somewhere else in Australia. So that's okay. That's fine. I can sit in economy.
Gonna fess up, Tom. There.
Oh,
since Jay Leno's taken mine, they had to loan me the one that you were gonna get. So that's what's happening now.
Riz, I thought we were friends. Come on, how could you?
Business is business, Tom. No, I think hopefully it's pretty funny though. Like they think it's going. Well, they say it's going on a little road trip of some sort, but it'd be cool to see where it ends up.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I'm not sure if I can say, but all I can say is it's going somewhere else. So
yeah,
I don't
cool.
know. Put your running shoes on. Yeah, running shoes on, Riz. Everyone else.
Audience, just let us know where it's going.
That's right. That's my Rolls Royce you're seeing. Well, mine for the day anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, how funny is this? Peter Soy Chads. I thought luxury EVs were the worst in depreciation. How much would a Rolls Royce Spectre depreciate in the first week? This is $750,000 in Australia.
Oh,
Just to
look,
remind you.
I don't think depreciation is anyone that can afford these cars. Depreciation is not even the thing. It's I want this, and that's the way it works.
That's right. Where's my $750,000? Oh, here it is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
take that.
just sitting there.
Oh, yeah, Gaffer. Will they make you wear gloves when you drive it? Well, there's a high chance. There's a high chance. Those gloves that
Yeah.
they make me wear will be worth more than everything I wear. I'm wearing on that day. So I'm happy to wear those gloves. Thank you. Thank you, Tazzy. That's okay. I'll update my diary. Yep, that's right. Thank you, Jason. It's okay, Tom. You're worth a lot to us. That's very kind of you. I'm touched by that comment.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, okay. How's saying, Riz and Tom? Sad you guys didn't get a gig at the GWM and XPeng Influencer Days in China. Apparently, they flew in people from all over the world. Nice. I think
Ooh.
Elliot might have been there, possibly.
Yeah. I know Elliot's been doing quite a lot on his
Mm,
channel. So for those of you that check out his channel, he's doing some cool stuff. He did even a walk around the Beijing Auto Show recently. But yeah, I'm sure he's probably invited when we get him back on in a couple of weeks or months time. I think
yes.
he'd share that as well. But I think it seems to be a pretty common thing. A lot of these Chinese manufacturers are doing these days, getting people from all around the world to come and visit them at the factories and put on a bit of an experience day. So, yeah, well, Xpeng, they're supposed to be launching right-hand drives by, well, third quarter.
Mm.
So, Singapore's supposed to get them, Hong Kong, I think. So, maybe the next event they organize, Tom.
Who knows? We're happy, Riz and I. XPeng, GWM. If you're watching, we'll go. We'll go anytime.
Just
We're happy.
follow Rolls' lead.
That's
Whatever
right.
Rolls-Royce is doing, just follow that lead.
Look, we'll even step down to business. We don't necessarily need to have first class or suites. Like, business is fine, honestly.
Yeah.
We can survive. Richard saying Tom should take it through the KFC drive-through and get a giant greasy box. Can you imagine eating a KFC bucket in the back of a Rolls-Royce Spectre? Like, can you imagine? That would be so funny. Gosh. Anthony's got a chauffeur's license. Perfect.
Ooh.
I'll call you when that time comes. Awesome. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. So let's talk about this. So we did mention this earlier. The Performance Model 3 was around. Well, it's now in a lot of the showrooms in Australia, at least on the East Coast. So go check that out. It's good to see it in the flesh, Riz. I think you've got one on order at the moment. Still.
Look, I did previously. I had the long range on order, and then I have not yet placed an order for this particular one before driving it.
Mm.
But it is as you know, you've seen it in your video and some of the pictures that Roland took. You had a chance to have a look at it as well.
Yep.
It's a lot of value now for that type of car.
That's right. I mean, it's like 80 grand, right? That's crazy for a car with these specs, like 0 to 100 in 3.3. It's got a 60 kilowatt hour battery. No, sorry, 82 kilowatt hour battery. Upgraded seats, upgraded look, side curtains, upgraded intake, upgraded wheels, track mode that's been updated, optimized. Like these are Roland's photos from Zapped.au.
Yeah, very cool.
Like for 80 grand, it's just crazy. Like no other sports car is going to be that good value at the moment.
Well, when this launched, I spec'd up a BMW M3 just for fun, and something with an automatic gearbox, and I think they had a premium seat package. Put that in there. It was $220,000 drive away here in Victoria, and this is probably under 90 drive away.
That's nuts. I mean, look. To be fair, BMW M3 is probably arguably a better track car, but in terms of an all-round sports car with occasional track performance, I don't know. And you want an EV, this is probably the way to go. I think pretty good value.
Yeah,
I like the seats too.
There.
Yeah, great bucket seat, so it does hug your sides as you go. So check out the Performance Model 3 in one of the showrooms in Sydney and Melbourne, Brisbane. I think is it in Brisbane? I'm not sure. Probably is. And this is the blue one that's in Chatswood that I reviewed as well. So check that out on my channel. And of course, this week we also had a huge update as well. The new V12 UI on our Teslas. Now, unfortunately, this is only limited to the AMD Ryzen cars in Model 3s and Model Ys as well. So if you've got an Intel Atom car, Riz, I think you've got an Intel Atom car at the moment.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So there are no updates just yet, but we'll see what you guys get in terms of the new UI. So it looks pretty good. It's quite fun.
Well, everyone, like even not that much of Tesla fans or car people, those have received it, they have commented, or at least when they've spoken to me, they've said, "Hey, have you got that update?" So people are noticing it, and yeah, it's pretty good that Tesla can continue to do that. And I just hope a lot of other car manufacturers look at this and say, how do we sort of create that wow factor for existing owners?
That's right. So, I mean, realistically, I probably wouldn't use those visualizations too much. I mean, it is quite a lot. I'd rather have the map, more of the screen. But it is fun for show and tell, I guess. And I didn't realize too, Riz, that because of the long-range Bluetooth function from the new Model 3s, you can actually now open the boot hands-free if you've got the key or the phone in your pocket. So that's a nice feature. So thank you, Scott, for I can see you in the chat there. Thanks for posting this and tagging us on X. Appreciate it. Richard's saying the Cybertruck is 5683 millimeters and Spectre is 5475 millimeters. Not much difference though. They're both pretty big cars.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Scott's saying, do these folks at GWM and XPeng know how much influence we have? Apparently, we'll do our best. Okay, so yeah, Beta's agreeing with me. I would not compare an M3. That car can turn. Yep, it's good for the track. That's right, I did say. All right, and here we go. Charles is agreeing with us. The 0.13 update is one of the best in a long time. Apparently, so many great features. Apparently, 0.15 is rolling out soon as well, which provides Ryzen ultrasonic sensors cars the option of the 3D park assist. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that one too. Okay, cool. Let's keep going for now. Thank you. I could see all your comments in the chat there. A lot of topics that we will be we'll be posting very soon and talking about. So just stay with us. We've got the show notes to get through. So, one more thing. One more Tesla news. So the UMC bug is now fixed with the new update. You can now ramp up to 10 amps from 8 amps. So just a quick public service announcement there. Okay, and those of you with referral credits, they're still available in the app. You just have to make sure you've got the latest version of the Tesla app. They haven't disappeared just yet. So anybody with referral credits, even though the Tesla referral program has ended officially. Okay, so let's move on, Riz, now to this story. This was published by Trevor Long on his website, EFTM. So it's not so exclusive anymore. It's, as we said earlier, LinkedIn, lots of Tesla former employees saying they've been cut as part of the global, job losses from Tesla in the supercharging team. And I guess the question now is what's going to happen? Are these chargers, number one, going to be maintained? And number two, what about the current sites under development or being flagged for those installations? What's going to happen? Like, that's the great unknown at the moment.
Well, that's it. The what we do know is on our live stream, we often get Charles Gregory. He is the number one supercharger man in the country. There's something we need to know. He knows about it. And from his last comment, it was more around, yes, the team has, I guess, been laid off. I think the whole 500 odd people globally have gone from Rebecca's team, who was leading the charging division. Not sure what it means from an implications point of view. I guess they have to keep them up and running and have to keep them maintained. I'm sure they have some level of contingency there. And yeah, I guess the real feedback will be from real drivers that will pull up and see if they're kept reliable.
Yeah, Charles just said he's not an expert. I just listen and repeat. Oh, you're too humble, Charles. You are an expert. You're the one we come to for this kind of stuff. There's even small stuff like I saw someone emailed me or tweeted something this week with me, and small stuff like the Tesla chargers that are now open to everyone that were previously closed. Like on the floor, a lot of the signage says Tesla charging or Tesla only charging. Small things like that, like who's going to repaint the floor so that it now says all vehicles welcome, right? Is that Tesla's responsibility or the site owner's responsibility? This is what I'm a little bit concerned about, these little, attention to detail things.
And I think the short-term challenge is if you've got a site, let's say these couple of sites here in Victoria are sitting on HomeCo, which is sort of like a, I don't know, like a homemaker's center sort of operator. And so where does HomeCo go? When something goes wrong, it's their car park. Something goes wrong, I'm sure do they have anyone to contact at Tesla anymore? I mean, Tesla is generally not the easiest company to get a hold of for various different reasons. So I'd assume they have some sort of a backup. Someone has to take that job on board. Maybe it's the local, maybe store managers, have to, if it's within your area, or maybe some statewide managers that have to
Pick up the
sort of.
slack.
Exactly. I was at a conference last week, and there was the Tesla Energy team was there. I had a quick chat to them, and I think that news had just started to sort of come through social media that had happened, and they just weren't sure what was happening. But anyway, they lasted the 2 days of the conference. Stan was still up at the end of it. So I did get to see the Powerwall 3 for the first time, but there was no Tesla charging team there, so obviously couldn't ask any questions. But yeah, I guess our audience, every one of you watching or listening, you'll be the judge of what happens when you rock up at the chargers. So far, I haven't heard anything otherwise. They seem to be working.
And not just working, but like if you see anything in your local Tesla Supercharger on your travels that, like if there's any disrepair or it's just not maintained well or something's happened to it, tag us and post those pictures, and then keep an eye on it because, like, who do we report to now? Who do we ask if this is going to be fixed, right? I know these chargers belong on site. Someone owns this site, but it's got to be a two-way street, right? Someone complains to Tesla asks the site owner to clean it up or whatever, and vice versa. So, I'm sure it now falls on a smaller group of people that has responsibility for these chargers, but it's a pretty lean operation now, which is a bit scary. See, like this comment here from Jason, some dude in the US, I think, was recorded cutting the charging cables from Tesla chargers while they were charging and driving off with them. I mean, that's not good, obviously, but what happens now? Like, if that's been vandalized, who looks after this? This is the scary thing. Yeah, you're right, Sydney Evie. I'm sure there's some plan we don't know about. That's true, but it'd be nice to get some idea, I guess, as stockholders too. Like, there's got to be some plan at the next stockholders meeting, I would have thought. And yeah, Scott's asking me, am I ever in a mild panic? I mean, you can see me now panicking a little bit about this situation as a Tesla owner.
Well, I think what we need to do is there's only one person that can get through to Tesla that we know in our circles, and that's no other than
Nash,
the one and only.
Yep.
He reaches out to Elon, and Elon says, "What's up?" So basically,
he's been a bit quiet recently, Nash. Cybertruck, I haven't seen him too much on X. If you're watching, Nash, hello, welcome.
Yeah.
But we miss you. Yeah, hopefully we'll see more tweets about it. And Hal says here, Tesla had tier 1 contractors doing installs. I believe they're looking at outsourcing installs and maintenance. Okay. But if true, we don't know if it's sad for staff in the Great EV course, of course. And Tassie Evie says, Supercharger maintenance will keep going, and anything actually in the build, as in digging and such, should finish anything in planning. Probably another CPO will grab them. Yep. So, Riz, I think this is a chance for third-party providers like Chargefox, Evie, you name it, for them to pick up the slack.
Well, to be honest, I can only think of potentially one operator that is likely to pick up the slack, and that's probably EV Networks. That can do something like that because they currently own their own hardware, and their sites are managed by them, and they've got the software solution, and they're rolling out a couple of software updates to improve their network as well. And yeah, it might be like you actually need to operate hardware to make this happen. So opportunities are there. But yeah, I mean, it would be sad to see so much reliable infrastructure sort of, but we have to remember, I mean, Tesla did deals with BP globally, $100 million to provide some supercharging hardware with EG Group and the rest, and we've covered this on the stream. So, and then what's going on with all the manufacturers in the US then, all the NACS, the North American Charging Standard situation, that was supposed to start in 2025.
That's kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, we talked about EV networks, but they rely on Tritium. We know what happened to Tritium last week, so
Well, this is it.
yeah, it's interesting. And time for someone like Chempower or one of the Chinese brands to step up and supply.
Mm.
We'll talk about Tritium a bit later on too. I've got that in the show notes. Now, Oscream is saying from out of spec reviews, that's Kyle from the US. Maintenance is still there, but everyone else is gone. Okay, well that's good. Good to know at least. Okay, so Terry says, I'm sure Elon has said they will continue expanding. Do they need a full department or is the R&D done? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, this could be... Sorry, Riz.
No, all good.
Yeah, Jason's saying there could be EV anxiety for possible new interested purchasers. That's true. I mean, this is uncertain times.
And the other part, I guess, is that I've just seen some X that Elon put up afterwards saying that they'll focus on existing sites and expanding those rather than newer sites, which to a certain degree, makes sense. If you've already got sites and you've already got agreements, and if you have the capability from a technical point of view to expand those reliably, and then it means that when you're sending your, let's say, tech or people servicing them, you're sending them to lower number of locations. Maybe that's the plan now, which is, hey, where they are, it's great. We'll every now and then we'll open up a new site, but we'll just monitor the situation, utilization, and eventually expand our current sort of sites to larger sites, which they've known to do in the past.
Yeah, Paul makes a good point. Australia has unfair dismissal laws. Why don't they apply to Tesla in Australia? Good question. Maybe something's happening in the works. Paul asks, do you want me to talk to Elon? Yeah, please. Report back next week. Please, Paul.
Do it.
That'd be great. Sydney Evie says, maybe that's why Nash had a social media break. He was advising Tesla and Elon on superchargers. You heard it here first. Maybe.
That's what happens with Nash.
All right, let's keep pushing. Okay, so yes, Johnny, we talked about the Peugeot earlier in the show about the 39,990 drive away. Pretty good price at the moment. $25,000 price drop. That's huge. I feel sorry for people who bought it for $25,000 more, unfortunately. Okay, let's keep pushing. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Charles makes a good point. No other operator is installing 6 to 12 stall sites, though. That's very true. Yeah. That's so true. I mean, there's like, I think there's six stalls at, or is it 8 stalls at Seven Hills in Sydney, EV. That's the biggest one I've seen, I think, outside of Tesla. You're right, I'll screamer. EV might need to go to Chempower to expand the network. Yep. Although it's backed by, what's the name of that company? Treverson Baker? Is that right?
Treverson Baker. Look, I think this is obviously, I had a catch up with someone from EV last week, and in our chat, I think the important thing is they still feel quite upbeat about their network and the things that they've got, and they seem to have, from what it sounded like, the backup part supply. Another thing is pretty well sorted. I think you can have a little bit more pull with manufacturers like Tritium and have sort of stock or backup stock for parts and other things if you operate a network as large as what Evie does now in Australia. We also have to remember a lot of the challenges that Tritium had were with their original VFill older units that I guess weren't designed for the type of utilization we're getting now. But still, things break in all different things, and it sounded like they seem to have it under control. They're probably likely to go to other manufacturers or explore their options as they grow their network. But I guess we still don't know where the Tritium story is ending. I mean, this week we also saw FreeWire, which is very popular in the US, and they've sort of shut their head office. What does that mean?
Yeah, we'll touch on FreeWire and Tritium a bit later on. I mean, they're all joining Bonza, right, to insolvency and administration and receivership. So those kind of people are quite busy at the moment, sorting stuff out for them. Some suggestions for a new network, Ludicrous charging network. I like that. Jason saying Riz charging network. The slogan is "Get the Riz for your EV." I like that. Gosh. Okay, so Anthony's saying, I've heard that a number of mechanical and panel shops are considering putting chargers in their car parks with 24-hour access. Okay, nice. That'd be good. Bill Billy Lid says, Nax, was that the thing hanging off the back of the Cybertruck? How funny. Good one. Got Riz. Yeah.
Gosh.
Right. All right. And Richard's saying the staff in Australia would not have been fired. It would have been a redundancy here in Australia. Yep. That's right. Oh, there we go. The Peugeot E 2008 sold out on the website.
Ooh.
Boom. There you go.
See,
Everyone's got a price.
Announce it here, and that's it.
That's right. Done. I mean, BYD, listen, look at this. Like Peugeot, you want to clear your stock. Everyone has a price. Get them out of the country, or get them off your docks. We want to see the new 2024 BYD Atto 3s. Cool. All right, well, let's, it's a Bonzo epidemic. That's right. Ludicrous Riz up Chargers. Yeah, I like that one too. Uptronics HQ is on fire at the moment, apparently, Riz. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Another charger manufacturer, and those that have seen the Pheasant's Nest site, there's a couple of those chargers there. Who knows what's behind it at this stage, but there is some stuff on X and other social media networks about it.
Yep, definitely. More FUD, I'm sure, from early days. We'll touch on that next week when we have more details. Okay, so let's move on and talk about another important issue, which is, of course, a lot of people have been asking us about this, which is the Tesla Superchargers, particularly V3, V4, and compatibility with BYD Atto 3 and the early Seal cars. So at the moment, the Seals, no matter what type, can charge at V2 superchargers. So they do work at some Tesla superchargers. How you can tell it's a V2 charger is if it's got two plugs like this is a V2 Tesla supercharger. So no problems. Dolphins, Seals, Atto 3s can charge at these. The problem arises with V3, V4 superchargers, and they're the ones with one plug at a Tesla supercharger. At the moment, only the Dolphins can do that, and Seals delivered post-2024 March. But everything else cannot charge at a Tesla supercharger. Now, this is concerning, of course, because as we talked about earlier, it does affect resale values for these cars. And is BYD liable? Should they be warranting these cars that cannot charge at a Tesla supercharger? So a good friend, Nirav, wrote an article recently, having spoken to Mark Harland from BYD Australia. And these are some of the answers he got and conclusions he made. So let's have a look at his conclusion down here. My interpretation is that BYD Dolphins... I'm sorry, I'll just share that. Here we go. That's his article, by the way. That's there it is there. Same picture, and that's my video there, which he tagged. Thank you very much, Nirav. So his interpretation is that in Australia, BYD Dolphins can use V2, V3, V4 Tesla superchargers without a problem. We know that one. BYD Seals built after March 2024 can use V2, V3, V4 Tesla superchargers without a problem. Good. BYD Atto 3s with 2023 plates and BYD Seals made before March 2024, like my one, will never be able to use a V3, V4 Tesla superchargers because of a hardware incompatibility. That's a strong word, never. Now, does that mean it'll never do it, or is it never without a software or hardware update? That's the question we want at the moment, Riz.
I think that's, to be honest, the hardware, like the new Seals being delivered after March 2022 build makes sense. The European ones can charge as well. Obviously, the challenge has been getting these other slightly older vehicles to charge there. If it is a hardware issue, then I would suspect there's possibly some sort of a solution to it. There'll be some owners that would want that because that is part of their road tripping, and what they wanted to do is to be able to use all public chargers that are open and available to them to be able to charge there, which is a fair and reasonable thing to expect. It's sort of like, buying a ICE vehicle and some petrol stations you can't fill up because they've got a different pump or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's sort of where things are at now, and hopefully there's a little bit more clarity around it moving forward. But yeah, what do you think, Tom? You had a chance to charge it at Raymond Terrace, and we've sort of been speaking about it. We've had a whole lot of people, of our audience that have been waiting to sort of hear what's going on since this originally surfaced back in September when Tesla did open up their superchargers.
Yeah, it's interesting, Riz. Like for me personally, like it's not going to affect me too much because I don't use the Tesla superchargers too often with my Seal. It's a town car for me. I just charge it at home. But I do feel for number one, the people who do road trip with their cars. It's a great road tripper. It's got 500 kilometers of real world range, tested by myself and others. Even in like poor conditions, it's still a really good long range car for the premium and all wheel drive versions. So it's definitely worth road tripping with it. Number three, as I said, affecting resale values. So the only way to sell your car at a reasonable price now is to actually not front up the fact that these cars cannot charge at a Tesla Supercharger. Sell to someone who doesn't know this, but to an informed audience like us watching, or you guys watching in the stream tonight, you know what's happening because we talk about this every week. So you know not to buy a car like mine or an Atto 3 that cannot charge at a V3, V4 supercharger. And this could be why BYD can't move their cars, because there's a problem with the current Atto 3s. This is becoming a problem, so much so that now Scott McGregor, who is one of our viewers, I'm not sure if he's on tonight, but he was happy for me to share this email with everyone. He's written to BYD, and because at the moment when you write a letter to BYD, it's the same generic email. Yes, we're working on it. Blah blah blah. Nothing's changed in the last 6 months, right? So let me read this out to you. So that people on audio podcasts can listen to this too. So this is to Hello BYD Australia. I'm hoping you can enlighten me on the progress of an issue that BYD owners with 2022 and 2023 built Atto 3s are still experiencing. Ask this because my wife and I both own a Atto 3 with these build years, July 2022 and January 2023 respectively. As it stands, we are still unable to charge our Atto 3s on open, publicly available Tesla V3, V4 superchargers unlocked for non-Tesla EVs. Whilst other manufacturers such as MG, GWM, Kia, Hyundai as examples have no issues at all. It's also worth noting that the BYD Dolphin doesn't appear to have an issue. However, both the Atto 3, 2022-23 and the Seal, 2023-24 owners do have issues. From further discussions amongst the BYD EV community, it is my understanding that the issue is hardware related, not in fact software, as new BYD Seals arriving in the country with a modified hardware configuration are able to charge their cars on the before mentioned public Tesla charging infrastructure. And if it is a software issue with an available fix, why have existing customer vehicles not received this fix courtesy of an over-the-air update or a service center recall for an OBD update? In discussing this further with the BYD community, I have been informed that a class action against BYD and considerable press coverage on this issue is being considered. This relates to Australian consumer laws and customers being sold a vehicle that cannot charge or refuel at a public charging station, even though CCS2 is a global charging standard used in Australia by charge station providers. Akin to an internal combustion engine vehicle customer being sold a vehicle that cannot be refueled at a Caltex petrol station, as an example. I would appreciate a timely progress update on this issue and how BYD is considering resolving this issue for its customers in both Australia and globally. When will BYD be transparent and issue a notice to its customers about this issue? I suggest urgent communication from BYD to its customers is key, as a considerable number of your owners are now waiting for a resolution with preparations to take further action. So thank you, Scott, for letting me read that out loud to everyone. Look, it's starting to snowball, Riz. I think there are some quite upset BYD owners at the moment online.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because there wasn't. It's not the first time. They've known about it since September, since we originally sort of raised it, and I think any communication. I think that's what owners who I guess like Scott, who have two of them, he's a good friend of the channel, and like that's what people expect. Just a little bit of communication to say, hey, this is if it is a hardware issue, tell people, tell everybody, send all your customers and an email, a mail, or anything to let them know, hey, we know this is an issue. We are either working on it, and if you are working on it, what does that mean? And yeah, just give people a bit of certainty because, yeah, like their vehicles, they paid good money for them. They took a gamble on the brand and their vehicle and the products, expecting them to work. In all sort of situations. Okay, if Tesla had not opened their superchargers, and then people like Scott didn't know they could charge there, then yeah, it's fine. It's locked to Tesla. That's Tesla's property and all the rest of it. But when they started to open them up, it means it became public and other EVs can charge there. That issue needed to be resolved pretty quickly. I know they're still trying to get to the bottom of it, but letting owners know anything, I think it's just general communication. So it prevents things like this from happening and getting it to this stage of potential further action. So yeah, people not everyone, I guess, has the ability to have another electric vehicle in their family. It could just be
Mm.
one. And if it's a BYD, that means you're sometimes restricted from going to places or using a reliable charging network. So yeah, I guess Scott's, like I said, one of the early adopters, and you can see his first car was built in July 2022, which is,
Mm.
I think, the first customer deliveries were maybe August, September 2022. So yeah, he's been a long-term supporter, and hopefully him, his wife, and others can get a response back from BYD soon.
Yeah, I know Scott very well. He's a very measured guy, so he wouldn't write this on a whim. He's thought about this through, and it's a great summary email. So I'm hoping BYD will hook onto this and really help us out here as owners. We, early adopters for the brand, took a chance on it, and hopefully they will, help us out here and warrant these updates as necessary. So we'll keep an eye on that. This is a developing story. Look, as I said already, you probably won't ever use a Tesla Supercharger, but I think that's beside the point. You need to have a car that can access a publicly available charger that every other EV can use. That's the point. Not so much that you'll never use it. It's just that, you want something that you paid for. I think that's the principle of the matter here. Okay, let's move on. That is just a story which we'll keep an eye on as time goes on. So speaking of chargers, so Nero has also said and confirming that the FreeWire charging company is, I think, gone. So closing its HQ, sacking 113 workers. That means the NRMA Mittagong FreeWire chargers, which I think were only open last year, is now also going to be shut, which is a shame.
Yeah, that's sort of what's happening now. I believe these chargers, because I guess they probably won't have the support from FreeWire in the US if they are closing doors. Then yeah, a lot happening in this charging space right now. So yeah, I think these are going to be replaced by
Tritium?
by units I actually got to see last week at a conference I was at in Brisbane, and they're similar in terms of battery augmented chargers. They have large batteries in them, and that should be quite interesting to see. So these will be replaced by those ones. From a timeline point of view, could happen in the next week or two. So if anyone's out in Mittagong, keep an eye out, have a look. Maybe you'll see them getting replaced.
Which is a shame, because I've seen these at an expo, the FreeWire chargers. They look pretty good. It's got a nice big screen, looks pretty user friendly. Battery backup, I think, as well. So yeah, I mean, I think these need to be fixed, because it's quite a popular spot in Mittagong, just a bit out of Sydney, on the way on the Hume Highway. So we'll keep an eye on that story as well.
Just on an earlier story, I got a chance to quickly drive a seal in that part of, I guess, New South Wales, and I pulled up here with another good friend of the show, Chris, and yeah, we couldn't get the seal to charge here. It was a seal performance.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's a Tesla only issue or whether this was this specific charger. It appeared to be all green and ready to go. Could have been the NRMA app. I don't know. But it's we'll see with the new chargers that go into this particular location. So next to the RSL, it's pretty good spot from what I can see. It's a lot to do. So anyone that's out there, take a photo of us and let us know what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. Keep an eye on it for us, guys, and tag us as always. The charging bubble has popped. Well, maybe not popped, but obviously some practices aren't sustainable long term financially. So it's just as things go with new tech, it's just stuff is just evening out, and more sustainable practices should happen, hopefully. Hello. I can't. Sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Rhino Pino or Reno Pino. Hello, everyone. Best regards from Germany. Hey, nice. Thank you for joining us. Okay, cool. So let's move on, and so let's talk a bit more about local charging suppliers and providers here. So Chargefox, new app feature. You can now see the percentage of the car using the charger and how long the car has been plugged in. Now, this might be useful, Riz, for cars. Well, first of all, if you're waiting for a car, you can see how long they've been charging for. So you can approximately think, okay, they've been there for 20 minutes, so maybe another 15, 20 minutes, if they're a good citizen. Or you can go, oh, wait, this car's here been for 6 hours. It's just parked there. It's not going to move anytime soon.
It is a very good feature. The only feedback that I have, and maybe it was my app I tried to use it last week when I was, roaming around the Gold Coast trying to
Yeah.
rescue Bonza. And I tried to use it at one of the chargers because there was a car park. There was one of those RTM 75 chargers on the Chargefox app. And
Yep.
for whatever reason, I did not know how long that car had been there for. I looked at the app, I checked it out. It was, maybe it's only for certain users. Maybe at this stage it's only for newer versions of the app. But yeah, anyway, it's if anyone else is trying it and it does work, please let us know. But it's a very, very useful feature.
What's interesting too is this is a picture shared from Anonymous, one of our viewers from Warriewood, which is up in near my neck of the woods. Look at this car here. So it's been there for 5 hours, 17 minutes. It's not going to be moving anytime soon, which is a shame because it's a free charger. So someone is freeloading off these chargers. So again, should these chargers be free? I mean, these are put there as courtesy from these shopping centers, but we've got freeloaders amongst us, unfortunately. It happens. Charles says, spotted a car today which had been charging for 0 minutes and it was on 3%. Talk about brave. Yeah. Hats off to you, sir, madam. It's good. Okay. Yep. So state of charge won't show on AC chargers. Yep, that's true. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Sydney Evie. All free chargers get abused eventually. Some even wait hours to use those chargers. How crazy is that? How that's not good use of time to wait hours for a charger. Anyway.
Apparently, well, IKEA's, I think we've touched on this a couple of months ago. IKEA is now charging at their sites now. So, they've learned as well that we can't have free charging as such. But yeah, it's a sustainable model to have it, so people pay for what they use.
Yeah, exactly. It's not sustainable to have free charging, I don't think. For that reason, also you should be paying for electricity anyway. Or at least get some good a coupon, like from the shop. Get it redeemed, you bought X amount of dollars of product, you can get whatever, 15 minutes of charging, something like that. Gaffer says, don't use the NRMA chargers, always use the Chargefox one. Yeah, I agree. The Chargefox app's actually pretty good. It's one of the best out there. Yep. It is the dwell time by hogging the spot. That is the selfish act. Correct. Yep. 5 hours. It's too long for a public charger. Okay, so let's move on and just staying with third-party chargers here in Australia. So EV Network is trialing variable pricing. That's good, much like the Tesla Superchargers. So busy periods, you pay more. Quiet times, pay less. Makes sense to me. And also, thank you, Jason, for posting this on X and tagging me. It says EV Networks has now got the tap and go payment option. We've been asking this for a long time. Just tap and go with credit card or debit card. No fuss needed. Perfect. And this is where apps are useful if you want a discount or if you want loyalty points or whatever. That's where it's good. But for everyone else who doesn't care, then a tap and go credit card is probably the way to go. Cool. Question for us and everyone else. Hi team, for those with the latest Tesla update, does your Sentry mode recording previews work? I've had mine for a week now and checked all the settings and they seem okay, but no previews. I haven't had any issues yet with my Model Y. I haven't had any notifications yet either, so I can't test it just yet. Yeah, a lot of people saying loving the tap and go feature. Good, finally. Love this feature. Woohoo, tap and go. Excellent. Good. Yeah, perfect. Yep. Oh, Scott. Hey, Scott. Thanks for the email. You're on. Tap and go. We read out the email earlier, so appreciate that. Hopefully you get some traction from that also. Good point, Jason. Also, if you have no phone signal and no RFID card, you can't charge, or RF card. Tap and go fixes that 100%. 100%. And that's Tap and go uses near field, I think, doesn't it, Riz, rather than RFID, I think. It's different tech.
I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, back on the Tesla notifications, only when the alarm goes off, you get preview. So yeah, obviously my alarm hasn't gone off yet. Don't really want to trigger it either. $1 per minute idle fees on some Chargefox chargers in Adelaide. Good, that's right. That's just the way it should be. Don't camp. Cool. Okay. Now sticking with Evie and Tritium. Have a look at this picture here. Or this X. So Alex McEwen tagged me new 4x EV 75 kilowatt chargers at Camaray Square, which is in northern Sydney, 3x CCS2 and 1 times CHAdeMO. The 11 kilowatt AC chargers are gone. Freebie, yeah, good. And it's a great setup there. I know the shopping center very well, so I'm glad to see DC chargers here as well. Now, I jokingly said Riz, tritium ... right?
Oh no.
And I even sort of made a joke about it. So where is it here? So this is Fry. So, all right, I thought surely it's not going to break, but I think it's actually broken already. Let me just see if I can
Oh
find
no.
the. No, seriously, it's broken.
Someone mentioned it down there.
Where was it? I'll have to find it. But it's I think Alex said it's broken.
Scroll down a bit. I think it's
Scroll down.
further down.
Further down. No.
Maybe a bit above, but it's actually good setup.
Yeah, I'll have to find that. But it was broken. So
Okay, yeah. No.
after one day. And tritium's now, yeah, as we know, with Bonzo. So, this is the kind of stuff I'm worried about is, can tritium maintain itself now that it's under receivership? It's a worry.
Well, Second Life, maybe it will happen. It'd be interesting to see what happens to this. I believe their factory or the new factory in the US in Tennessee, surely because the CEO had a press conference with Joe Biden, shook hands, all the rest of it when they announced that particular factory, and if stuff is being made there, then yeah, something's gotta give. Otherwise, we know that the EV manufacturing or the EV charging industry in China seems to be doing pretty well in terms of the number of chargers being rolled out. Maybe one of those manufacturers may acquire them. Who knows?
Okay, I found the post. So here we go. Sorry to report it's already gone down for service, or maybe switching to Kempower. And that's like a day after it happened. So yeah, I mean, I don't mean to point this out, but like, this is important, this stuff, because this is the kind of confidence we need as EV owners, and to spread the news about EVs, we need to have reliable charging. Otherwise it's a really hard topic to talk about with potential buyers.
If it is a new site, to be fair on this front, if it is a new site, it could possibly be that they were commissioning certain parts or doing some other testing at that period of time. So, but I guess everyone can keep an eye out on them, and if they're still down, then there's an issue.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. Thanks, Alex, for tagging us. Okay, so thanks, Jason, again, tagging us. Australians training to become mechanics will be able to access $10,000 in financial support if they study electric vehicles. So that's good. That's fantastic. So government funding for apprenticeships for EVs. Good to see. And so thank you, Tassie Evie. I can see you in the stream there as well. Tagging us, Kia EV3 being launched this month. This is exciting.
That looks cool.
It looks really cool. I think this will be, similar size to the Volvo EX30 MG4, that kind of size?
I'd say small hatchback / SUV, because you can't call it a hatchback, it won't sell. It has to be an SUV. So a small SUV like a Mazda CX-3, maybe Mitsubishi ASX, maybe in between the Dolphin and Atto 3. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool.
It looks cool. The same sort of styling as the EV5, EV9, that sort of boxy, angular shape that seems to be in vogue at the moment. Obviously, these are concept shots, but the two dual screens GMP cars are known for. Now, pricing is obviously key. I mean, what's the Volvo EX30? It's like what, high 50s, I think.
Yeah, high 50s, early 60s. This has to be priced between 45 and 50 because they're about to launch the EV5. If that's priced between 55 and 65 as a starting point, then this has to be 45 to 55. It's otherwise people will keep writing headlines. EVs are too expensive.
I found that Kia has slotted itself, and the Korean brands in general have slotted themselves between Tesla and the Chinese brands, or round about the Tesla mark, less expensive than the European brands. So I expect this will be very similar in price to Tesla Model 3, maybe hopefully less, a bit more than the Chinese cars. I think that's where the Korean brands will probably end up sitting. So we'll find out later this month when they do their launch.
I'm also quite curious to see if, like the EV5, it will be built in China. for the Australian market, because if it is, then supply won't be an issue, which is what they're promising with the EV5.
LFP battery, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I think maybe about 12 months ago they did a press or they did some sort of an announcement, and Kia said that they really want to be targeting the affordable EV market. And if this is one of their first affordable EV models, let's say we draw a line in the sand and call it under 50 grand, then yeah, it would have to have LFP batteries. It would have to probably be built close to where all the rest of the supply chain is, which is in China. And it would have to be produced at volume to get economies of scale. So it's all expected to happen. I guess we'll find out later this month.
Yeah, if this is anything like the Kia EV9 quality and build, this will be a phenomenal car. The small SUV class is just going off at the moment, so looking forward to seeing that in the flesh. Yeah, Sydney EV. If the EV3 comes in at that price, they're going to need a bigger ship. Yeah. And looks like a Sorrento replacement size, 100%. Shalendra's got a question for you, Riz. How are the EV9 sales going?
Last time I checked, Tom, I think they were selling under 100 a month, which is still quite a lot for the price and the size of that car. But yeah, I think like the rest of the market, it's a bit subdued. Maybe, and it is a relatively new car in the market. We'll give it about 6 months, and maybe we'll get a few discounts like we did with EV6 and the Ioniq 5 after the big, all the chook raffle and the big rush was gone.
Yeah, let's have a look at your sales figures that you report. Let's have a look. 61 sales, last month. I did see one in the wild in Sydney the other day, so they are coming. They are coming. Good cars.
What happened to all the Australian Open cars? Because they had a lot of them.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sitting at dealership still. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Almost at the end there. Thanks for staying with us, guys. 242 viewers, Riz, at the hour and 8 mark. How good is that? You guys are awesome. Now, Geely Auto confirmed for Australia. This is the Ute. The Geely Radar, Radar, or whatever they want to call it. It's coming. Confirmed, apparently.
Mid-2025.
And this is the full EV. This is not the BYD Shark PHEV. This is a full Ute EV. So very exciting from Geely. Can it compete with the Tasman Ute from Kia? That's the question.
So what would they brand it under? Okay, Geely Auto is what they're going to be launching it. Brand has started advertising for local personnel. Okay, that's cool. Anyone that spots that on LinkedIn or somewhere, send it through. Tag Tom and I in it, because we'll be, I'll be applying for jobs now that Bonza's gone under. So
you join all the Tesla staff. Oh, too soon.
Well, all the
sorry, Tesla charging staff. We feel for you guys. I'm sorry. No, you guys will be picked up. You're the cream of the crop. Working for Tesla.
You work for the most desirable company, or at one stage, the most desirable company to work for. So no issues with energy charging. It's a huge booming market. But yeah, this would be interesting, I guess. So if this is the first car that Geely brings, Geely has so many quality models in China. I saw a video with, I think, that Elliot posted and a couple of others on the Beijing Auto Show. Geely has just amazing number of cars that they're launching, and just quality and technology behind it. So if this happens, it's only going to get more competitive for Australian electric vehicle market.
That's right. And Geely, confirmed Zeekr as well. Zeekr's coming to Australia. Yeah. So, yep, good quality cars. So we'll keep an eye on that space. That's good. Good to see. Okay, almost at the end here. We've got, here we go, more Tesla news. This is a Tesla Semi at Costco in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, it's being maybe it's well, at least the Costco trailer on the back of it. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see other brands starting to use Tesla Semi to haul some goods around.
Yep, definitely. And this is quite a funny one. So back to Tesla, creating a voice assistant to replace voice commands. What would it be like? I know BYD's like, hey BYD. Even Toyota had one, which caught me off guard. That was their safe word. And what? Hey Elon, or Elon mate or Elon buddy. I don't know. Something. So watch that space. I'm sure it'll be
Hey,
coming
hey,
soon.
Nash.
Yes. Hey Nash.
Hey,
I like
Nash.
that. I'll vote for that one. That's good. Okay, and finally, thank you, Jason, once again for tagging me. Construction of the Waratah super battery ramping up. Is this the one in New South Wales? Yes, the one on the Central Coast. Is this full of Tesla batteries?
Ooh,
No, not sure.
super battery. That's pretty
I'm not gonna,
cool.
I don't want to watch the news, but we'll keep an eye on that one. $1.1 billion state government project. Cool. Excellent. We'll keep an eye on that one for sure. All right. Well, I think that might be it for tonight, Riz. We've gone through it all. Sam's saying Julia advertising for a marketing director in Australia as well. Hey, maybe
Ooh.
this could be our chance, Riz, to get a free trip to China with Julia.
That Julie, if you're listening, or future marketing director, it could possibly be one of our member of our audience. Think of us when you're planning your next trip before you launch Radar and other models into the country.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And yeah, cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for all your comments tonight. You guys are like the best audience. You're so informed, educated, engaging. Riz and I couldn't ask for a better audience, honestly. There's no show without you guys. Keep tagging us on all the different social media forms. We've got whatever you want: Instagram, X, even Threads, LinkedIn, Facebook. Yeah, just tag me or Riz. We'll show it. As you can see, most of the stuff that we show is from our audience members tagging us each week. So we want to see all the interesting stuff, all the stuff that makes the news. We'll talk about it next week. Riz, thank you so much as always. Appreciate it.
Awesome to be on, Tom. Thanks everyone for sharing all what's going around, because we can't keep a tab on everything because there's just heaps happening. And yeah, keep an eye out on those Tesla Chargers and see how things are. Hopefully they'll remain reliable, and we'll continue to charge around Australia and beyond. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, everyone.
That's right. Take charge and help us out here, so to speak. All right. Well, we'll see you guys all next week, and thank you so much as always. And we'll sign off and say happy charging, and thank you for joining us. Take care, everyone, and bye for now.